Hi guys, I'm going to be teaching how to draft breast tube with yoke. So I just put that already there to hold the paper. So I'm going to be putting on my measurement from my shoulder to my bust. My bust is 12, my under bust is 15, and the length of the top is 19. It's 18, but I put 1 inches making 19. So I'm going to be drawing the lines together. So after then I place my shoulder measurement 9.5, then go down by 1 inch for the shoulder slant. Then my neck depth is 3 inches. So I'm going to connect the shoulder slant together from the 1 inches to my neck depth. So after then I place the shoulder measurement there to get a straight line. Then in my ankle I measure 9 inches. Then I'll connect everything together, just like the way you see me doing from that point to the ending of my shoulder. Just follow the same way so you will get the same thing that I'm doing. So from there 9 inches I'm going to divide it into 2. I have 4.5. I mark the 4.5 there. So I will come out. So I place my bust measurement divide by 4. So I come out by 1/2 inch. Come out by half. Yeah, that 1/2 inch I come out from it. Then I'm going to connect it from the shoulder point to that 4.5. Then from that 4.5 down to my bust measurement, exactly the way you see me doing, like this. So that is it. Now I'm going to be taking my neck dot where I want the tube to start from. I take 7 inches. So I mark the other 7 inches there. So I'm going to draw the lines together. So now I'm going to be taking my nipple to nipple. My nipple to nipple is 9 plus 1/2 inches, making it 5 inches for seam allowance. So I'm going to connect everything together. If yours is 4, add 1/2 inch to it. So from this point I'm going to take 1.5 inches. From the other point I'm going to take 1 inches. If you have big bust, this place I take 1.5 inches, just take 2 inches. Then if you have bigger bust, so this place where I take 1.5 inches, just take 2 inches if you have bigger bust. So if you have small bust, take 1 inches there, take 1 inches there. Also at the top you have to put the same measurement, 1.5 inches, and the other side 1 inch. So connect everything together, just like this. Then the 1.5 inches also from the under bust, you connect it together. In this center point I come out by 1/2 inch, then I go up by 1/2 inch. It's good for you to go up and down by 1/2 inch so that your bust point will not be pointing. So now I'm going to be connecting it. just like the way you see me doing it, like this. If you have French cup, use it. If you know you are good in free hand, just use your free hand. Also connect from that place to the same half-inch with curve. You see the center, my center bust, that is the bust line, is good. It's not pointy. So that is how you know your breast too is perfect. Okay. So I'm connecting the other side. I'm connecting it so that I will get a perfect breast cup. Now I'm connecting the half-inch up and half-inch down together, so you can see how it look. Now from the sweetheart neck, I go down by 1.5 inches. So I'm going to be connecting that 1 inch down to the other point, just like the way I'm doing it. So that is my sweetheart. So that line, I'm going to be extending into the shoulder line with 2.5 inches, because we take 1.5 inches and 1 inch is making it 2 inches. So I put it back. So I'm going to, my measurement, I had 2 inches. I'm going to connect the shoulder together to form another ankle. Oh, sorry. I'm going to connect the ankle together to form another ankle, which that is the line you are seeing there. Then I'm going to drag that line down to my bust point. So I'm going to be placing my under bust. My under bust is 9.5. Then the 1 inches and the 1.5, making it 2.5 inches. So I'm going to place it back, because after cutting, you will know it will not be together. Then I'll add 2 inches to it. The same thing is 9.75 in my waist. So the same 2.5 and 2 inches for seam allowance. Then I'm going to connect it together. So from the neck depth, I take 3 inches for the neck depth. For the net weight, I'll take 3 inches for the net depth to connect it together. For the yoke, now I want to cut. You don't have to cut in this line. You have to cut in that sweetheart line. Yes. So this is how you're going to cut it carefully, because it's a paper. So if you are drafting on paper, you have to be careful. So for the shoulder line, if you are drafting it on the, if you are cutting it on the fabric, please add seam allowance from the shoulder, so you can sew. Then in the downside of the sweetheart neck, you also have half an inch on it too. So the down part, I'm going to be cutting it. It's very easy. It's not hard. It's not hard to make. It's very easy and simple. So this is how it looks. See, this can accommodate my bust. So if you want to see, I place the two together. It's going to be mashed without even stressing when I want to sew it. See how mashed it is. So you can start in anywhere, just sew it together, see, very much, and it will bring out your breast tube perfectly. So we are going to step that aside, then we have to go for the front. The same thing we did at the front, and we are going to be doing it at the back. My measurement from my shoulder to my bust is 12, so we don't need under bust, we just go straight to the length of the top, which is 19. So we are connecting it together, connect my bust together also to get a straight line. Waist and bust, but that is bust point. So that is my shoulder. If your shoulder is 8, add half inch to it, making 8.5. So come down by 1 inch for the shoulder snatch. So 3 inches, we take 3 inches for the shoulder. For the neck at the front, also take 3 inches. So place the same your shoulder measurement to get a straight line for the ankle. If you follow this method, I promise you, you will not make a mistake. Perfect, okay. So divide the 9 into 2, you have 4.5 to get the midpoint of your shoulder before you draw on your ankle. Now you place your bust measurement, then you draw your ankle. After that is how the ankle at back is. You don't need to come out at 1.5 inch. So you place your nipple to nipple measurement for the dart, just the way you see me doing it, then connect the lines together. Exactly. Now take half inch at the left, take half inch at the right side. So you place your tape from the shoulder to where you want the yoke at the back. Mine is 9. That 9, you have to connect this 9 down to the other point of your shoulder where we measure 4.5 to get you at the back. So yeah, that is how you need it, because that is the yoke. We are cutting the yoke out. Then for the bust point, you go up by 2 inches for the dart. So you connect it together and drag your dart. Traffic dart depends on the dart you really want. I just like to make this dart because it's easier and it's perfectly okay for this style. So I like it when I put this dart. It make my back to relax perfectly. So that is the dart point. So you still have enough allowance to place the back yoke. Now there is half inch there. We are going to place that half inch on that place, because after sewing it's going to be short. So you place your 2 inches sewing allowance, then the same at the underside. So 1/2 inch, making it 2 inches. We're making it 1 inch, sorry. So you connect the, can put the 1 inches, add your 2 inches sewing allowance and connect it together. That is it. Then for the back neck, I'm going out by 1 inch. I use my French curve to connect the neck because it's round. So I did not add zipper allowance, but when I'm going to be sewing it, I'm going to add zipper allowance, just 2 inches. From 2 inches, you measure 2 inches first from your fabric before you place this drafting paper on it. Then you can cut it together, so you add your zipper allowance to it. First, I'm going to remove the yoke. I'll remove the separate. I'm going to separate the yoke from the main bodies, just the way you see me cutting it. So this is how it looks. That is the yoke. Then this is the body. I'm just trimming that to get a perfect ankle. So this is how it looks. Perfect. Okay, so if you have watched to this extent, you have learned a lot. If you have any question, please just leave it in